You read the title or saw the thumbnail. This is Sanemi versus Akaza and why it is not close. This is one of those Demon Slayer debates where one side is saying it's a no diff and the other side is also saying it's a no diff. I'm very highly debated with Akaza stands defending him across the world and Sanemi fans glazing him across the world. This video is going to be split into 4 sections: base naming scaling, marks naming scaling, Akaza scaling, how the fight would go. To start, I'm gonna scale Akaza. Akaza's raw speed should be under marked Gyu and even marked Tanjiro. When I say raw speed, I mean Akaza's actual speed without compass needle. Since it's been a while since I've talked about Akaza, I'll talk about what his compass does. Akaza's compass doesn't actually amp his speed. It just gives him better accuracy, acting pretty much like a magnet. So it gives him better combat speed technically, but he's not technically moving faster. His blood demon art attacks should just upscale anything his normal attacks can do. This is pretty easily shown when he clashes with Rengoku. When Akaza doesn't use BDA, him and Rengoku clash, with Rengoku using his first form, they tie. Later, when Akaza uses Disorder, Akaza of course wins. This is again shown with Tanjiro and Gyu. Base Gyu clashes evenly with Gyu, no BDA attack, with Akaza talking. Then Gyu gets overwhelmed and blasts away from Akaza's kick, not being able to dodge, only blocking, admitting that he got overwhelmed. Then, you see the same thing happen to Tanjiro. He can only block them, except for this one, and still takes recoil damage to the attacks like Gyu does. Yet they're both able to dodge Akaza's regular attacks. They only block his BDA attacks and still take recoil. So his BDA attacks have more AP than his normal attacks and speed. So the reasons Akaza's raw speed is slower than marked Gyu is because Akaza gets pretty easily washed by marked Tanjiro. He's slower than marked Gyu. Akaza's compass just picks up the slack with the magnets. Of course though, this is with Gyu, who, let's be honest, does not have the fighting spirit comparable to someone like Sanemi. So Akaza would be faster because his compass would be better. Akaza is also slower and Kalsen moves on pretty easily since Gyu calls him fast and Tanjiro can't perceive his attacks, while Gyu doesn't call Akaza fast and just talks about how his attacks work against him. So Akaza is pretty comfortably under Muzan in speed. Of course, we'll still be able to combat him with compass. Something else to note is that Akaza can really just spam a bunch of BDA attacks like he does against Tanjiro. So he's still stronger than people like Mark Gyu. And why I won't say he has equal speed to Mark Gyu is because Akaza wasn't technically at full power, because 1, his compass wasn't at peak, and 2, he didn't use any BDA forms. He is under C3 Tanjiro though, and C3 Tanjiro's whole narrative is just being above Akaza finally. Let's talk more about how Akaza scales to the direct Muzans. As I said earlier, he is slower. Against backflips, he should do better than the likes of Gyu and Nova Knight since they struggled, and again, Akaza's compass would be a major help. His final form is great though, mainly because of the AoE. Since he's able to damage C3 Tanjiro, he should be relative to C3 Michiro. I am not saying that the attack has a speed or Kokushibu, it's just unavoidable because of the AoE of the attack and how close they were to the attack. Of course, this doesn't kill Tanjiro, but again, final form was nerfed. And because Tanjiro and Gyu were both so close to Akaza, they would get hit with it more than if someone was further away. And someone with C3, for example, could see it and move it away before the attack actually comes out all the way. The reason Tanjiro didn't do this is because we know he was not thinking about the fight and was pretty much just glazing C3. This is kind of the peak we can scale him, since we know for a fact he doesn't scale to others like Doma or Kokushibu. So this Akaza portion is not as long as last time, but yeah, last time I was yapping about compass and I kind of know how it works now, so I'm not gonna yap about it anymore. Now, to scale base Sanemi. Base Sanemi is getting outpaced by holding back base Kokushibu, only being able to keep up with his wind breathing forms. Sanemi does struggle with Kokushibu's speed and moves, so again, he is getting outpaced. He, however, does not get blitzed. It's just him getting outpaced when Kokushibu using more of his strength. His AP is being good, as I just said, being able to clash with Kokushibu. I should have to explain that Kokushibu's AP is greater than Akaza's. Sanemi is also able to damage Kokushibu's sword. This, on surface, doesn't sound that good, but Kokushibu's sword is made from his skin, so he should have, at the very least, durability comparable to his body, which is just above Akaza's. I want to make it clear though, Kokushibu is holding back, and if base Sanemi were to fight for Battle Kokushibu, he would get washed and no diffed. Sanemi's breathing is also really good for clashing, since you also have to worry about the AoE coming from one breathing. This is especially shown when Sanemi can clash with Kokushibu's sword slashes and moons with one breathing form. Again, just to be clear, he still worries about them. Holding back Kokushibu blitzes Michiro, who should be on Akaza's level, via upscaling Tanjiro. And of course, the blitz on him in the upper room meeting. Now, when Sanemi gets the mark, he gets stronger, obviously no longer needing to clash with Kokushibu. He reacts to Kokushibu trying to break his sword, and all while injured, which would make him slower, as he says himself. So a full power Sanemi would be even faster. And again, have the speed to match Kokushibu, with both of them using normal attacks this time. Sanemi not struggling to keep up with the two of them, or Kokushibu's attacks after the clash. This is kinda it for the Kokushibu fight, since after Kokushibu uses longsword, and Sanemi just gets washed, and we can't gather any AP feats from him, not be able to cut Kokushibu's neck. And this is an anti-feat since even Gyomei can't do it. To go into his Muzan feats, he's able to make up for Obanai's slack when he's being a simp, alongside Sanemi, Gyomei, and Gyu. Sanemi, while off guard, realizing he was getting cured from the poison, dodged 4 back whips and both arm whips, and the slashes that are on the ground. Watch my 13th from Tanjiro vs Kokushibu videos to learn more about why the poison is such a drastic nerf. The reason why this matters is because Muzan has 8 back whips and 2 arm whips, and we see Gyu, Obanai, and Mitsuri get outpaced and almost killed instantly by the back whips. Since divided attention exists in Muzan, by this point, I have no reason to target one Hashira more than the other. This point would also evenly split his arms. Of course, having 10 total, he would split them between the 3 of them. Of course, you can't divide 10 by 3, so one person will be fighting 4 whips, or one person will be fighting an extra arm, or he would split the arms against the 3 of them. Either way, none of them are able to fight against 4 back whips and 2 arm whips at the same time. While Sanemi can dodge something like that off guard, which means you should have way better speed than them, outpacing them at worst. Also, no, just because Muzan isn't using the other half of his back whips does mean Muzan was at half his speed. Half his versatility and pressure, yes, but actual speed, no. You also see Sanemi and Gyomei are mostly the ones playing aggressive on Muzan, and Muzan would target them more since they beat Kokushibu, especially Gyomei, since Kokushibu glazes him so much. Of course, Gyu and Obanai are there too. Muzan should be splitting his arms, making Gyomei and Sanemi fight 3 arms, while Gyu and Obanai fight 2 arms, or Muzan's just swinging wildly. Either way, Sanemi dodged an attack Mark Gyu would not have been able to. Again, this is while Sanemi is poisoned and massively injured, so a full power 1 will just upscale it. So what level is up for you to determine. Since the scaling is done, I'll cover how the fight would go against base Sanemi and Mark Sanemi. Base Sanemi, in all honesty, is beating Akaza. I know this is a hot take, always will be, but I don't see a way for Akaza to win since Kokushibu blitz Michiro, and then he's didn't blitz Sanemi. I don't see Sanemi no different though, since he was getting outpaced by someone who's blitzing Akaza. He is still slightly relative since he struggles with the Kokushibu's moons, and not really his speed. But yeah, of course, he's still slower. I don't see Sanemi struggling with Akaza's BDA attacks, since he has enough AP to clash Kokushibu. He should just have more AP than Akaza. For Akaza's final form, I see Sanemi living it. I could see it hitting him and taking damage since all the AoE, even if he is a blitz level faster. Maybe similar damage Tanjiro took, or the damage he took against Kokushibu's 6th form. So he live, but still take damage. For Akaza's head regeneration, it will be an issue since Sanemi can't get Red Blade on his own, but Akaza arguably just won't get it since he got it because of his memories, and he only got remembered of them because of Tanjiro. Now Akaza could just get to the bottom of his neck and cut it off, and it's GG's. For Mark Sanemi, it just gets worse. I see Sanemi winning low diff, and I don't really see what Akaza is doing there. So hopefully this video helped show why Sanemi beats Akaza, and of course, by extension Gyomei too. Stop downplaying Sanemi. But I will admit, Akaza beats like 90% of the verse, and he's honestly very strong. Like, sub, peace.